Hello kids and welcome to Glowing Smile HQ. Here at Glowing Smile, we provide the best educational program on this side of the world. This season, we will be focusing on science and history, so buckle in and get ready to smile wide. Today, kiddos, we'll be discussing and focusing on the brain and its functions. The brain is the little pink organ that's present in the head. It's how we think and control our bodies. Each of the brain has a specific purpose and use for the body, but sometimes our bodies grow in these purposes and that part is no longer needed. An older example of this would be the appendix, but there's a newer example that is more relevant to our topic at hand. As the years have passed, a little part of our brain called the amygdala has shrunk and gotten smaller, being rendered essentially useless in modern days. Now, we're going to play a fun game called Guess That Emotion. I'm going to showcase various different emotions and you kiddos will have to guess each emotion it is. Ready? Let's begin. Okay, now does anyone know what this emotion is?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Correct. Now, how about this one?
Happiness.
Also correct. Here comes the next one.
Happiness.
Correct again. You guys are so good at this. Now, here comes the final picture. See, I tried to trick you on that last one. Remember how I talked about how over time our brains changed? Well, in this change, we lost the ability to feel certain emotions. This has led to something and the complete destruction of something called fear. Fear was known as an extremely unpleasant emotion, usually seen during moments of distress when a person would perceive danger or a threat. Though, at times, fear was examined in situations where there was no actual danger or threat to be seen. How silly of them! When someone experiences fear, they become scared, which can lead to various different reactions. This is where the old term fight or flight comes from. When someone becomes scared, they can choose to fight their way out of the perceived threat, or they can choose flight and run away instead. There is actually a third option not included in the saying, which is freeze. Freeze is just as explained. When someone is scared and experiencing fear, they freeze and become what is known as petrified. Now, scientists back in the day classified fear as a survival tactic and was seen as something normal, expected, rational, and appropriate given the situation. We all know that's silly, right? We're humans, top of the food chain, and the greatest species alive. There should be nothing that causes us to act so irrationally. Though, speaking of irrational, that reminds me of another subset of fear. Back in the day, when a fear was regarded as being irrational, then it was classified as a phobia. A phobia can be developed for almost anything. Look at them now, they all seem so silly. Like, why would someone be afraid of spiders? They're small and no danger to us whatsoever. I guess that's why they're considered irrational. Anyway, I thought it would be fun if we can recreate some of these common fears and phobias in order to teach you kids about what people used to experience in America. It might also help you better understand some of the decisions made back in the day and why those particular actions were taken when there was obviously better ones. For this episode, I think we should start off with what's known as agoraphobia, the fear of potential dangers in an environment deemed unsafe. Now that's a bit of a mouthful, so doctors back in the day sometimes classified it as simply the fear of the outdoors.
I want to welcome you to yet another version of After Hours here on PSTV.
And welcome to another installment of Talk Nerdy to Me.
You look excited. Yeah. I'm freezing.
I'm Lauren Weiss.
And I'm Kyle Bryant. Let's take a look at today's top stories.
2 minutes of the finest in news that you need to know about.
And now it's time for a PSTV News special report.
Score is scores! With 2 seconds left!
Now, in order to properly showcase agoraphobia in a way that you kiddos can better understand, we need to see someone suffering from it. So we have someone very special here today to help us. We managed to find our very own cold one to volunteer to help us today. Give them a round of applause. Welcome to the show. We're glad to see you. Are you excited to volunteer to help us, friend?
Volunteer? What? I was forced to be here. I didn't volunteer.
Now, friend, that's very rude of you. We don't use hurtful words like that. You're here to help us demonstrate to the children what fear is. is specifically agoraphobia.
As if I'd help you with anything, you shell of a human being.
Friend, I'm going to have to ask you to stop with the rude words.
Screw you, freak!
Our generous and benevolent sponsor would like it if you keep your language appropriate for the children, and they will not ask again. Now let's continue on with the program. Our new friend here will be taken to a simulated environment where they can showcase agoraphobia properly, as they unfortunately suffer with an enlarged amygdala and do experience fear like those older generations. Let's begin! See kids, this is a perfect example of the fight response. Our friend is afraid of what we're going to do to them, and they are fighting for what they presume to be their lives. In actuality, that's silly. We're not going to hurt them. But as we talked about, fear is the response to a supposed danger. How exciting and interesting our new friend is. Now, once they're caught, we'll observe how they react in their situation and what the actual proper way to react is.
Just keep swimming to the TV. Let's put on PSTV. They have good programs such as Card Sports, Go Cards, and Table Talk. How feeling the news?
The Vermont State Police.
And Talk Nerdy to Me. Now that's student-made, professional-grade TV. Just keep swimming.
Now that the fear of the outdoors has been instilled in our new friend here, let's observe their problem-solving skills to see how they face their fears.
Where am I?
Oh, they're in a pickle now. Let's see how they confront the issue of no curtains for the other windows. Now, there's two options that they have. They can either break down and act irrationally, or they can use the materials around them in order to find something else to cover the windows. Fascinating. See how they find materials from environments used to their advantage? Look at that, kiddos. Our friend noticed they don't have enough cover for every window, so now they're looking for a different solution. Now kids, this is a fun time to bring up the fact that phobias are not mutually exclusive. That means that someone can have two phobias or fears at the same time. Another common fear is claustrophobia, the fear of confined spaces. Locked closets, such as this one, can be a huge trigger for those who suffer from claustrophobia, like our dear friend here. That's gotta hurt. Now, phobias like claustrophobia and agoraphobia can be cured over time, but for the cold ones, fear itself cannot be cured. This is why we're the superior species. And that's it for this portion of the show. Coming up after the break, we will be playing an old documentary for the history portion of our show. So this is my goodbye to you kiddos. Until next time, praise be the mother, and may her warmth absorb and light your soul.
New from Spatel, mother's best friend. Mother's Best Friend has multiple amazing features that make her the best new doll on the market. Mother's Best Friend can talk and respond to your little ones to keep them entertained for hours.
Praise be the mother, praise be the warmth, praise be the glow that encompasses one another.
How fun! Mother's Best Friend also can record so all your moms out there can check up on your little ones to make sure that they are behaving properly. So call now and get your own Mother's Best Friend. Everyone has one, so now it's your turn. Praise be the mother.
All those that turn away from her glow shall be consumed by the fiery metal bowl once they have been found.
In the beginning, new acolytes would rotate and visit every hospital in the country, seeking out the nursery in order to continue the betterment movement young. The Great Mother blessed the plan, and it was observed that the newborns absorbed the warmth of the mother better than anyone. Rarely was the gift of the mother too much for the body of the children. Hospital nurseries that were once filled with the sounds of fear and sorrow now chime with the music of laughter and joy. This first wave of devotee children grew up as any child before them, now simply with a lack of distress and fear. They were daring, adventurous, and great role models, though the blessings and power of the mother continued on in a way never expected. When the first devotee children grew to be adults and had children of their own, that new wave of children were born with the warm glow of the mother already in their veins. These children held even more joy for life than those that came before them. Permanent smiles etched into their glowing faces, and the part of the brain that controls negative emotions that is twice as small as one from previous generations. Their blood also held a glowing greenish hue, lighting up their surroundings just as the Great Mother illuminated all of our lives. With each generation of devotees born, our society will bloom into something as close to divine that man can get, with the children being born with perfection already in their bodies. The acolytes could now focus their attention to bigger and brighter things. The high priest decreed that in order for our society to reach peak perfection, everyone needed to be welcomed into the glowing arms of the mother. So the most recent mission given to the high priest and acolytes is to bring warmth to the cold ones.